Nothing could have been going on over there so bad you would trade Luka Doncic without him demanding to be traded.
All right.
It's quite simply one of the worst transactions in the history of professional sports on the Mavs side of things. And Bruce said that somebody, in NBA circles called him and said that if the Mavs had called them and said Luka Doncic is available, his response would be, who did he kill and how likely can we cover it up? Like the idea that this player, and I am baffled by the number of people, and it's not a lot, but the fact that it's any, and the fact that includes the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, who have tried to convince themselves that because Luka, let's just say he's permanently out of shape. I don't buy that, but let's say he is. And let's say the guy actually has a drinking problem. I don't think he does, but let's say he does. That means you trade him. It's incomprehensible. So here's just this is where it's very important that we have facts that we deal with. The argument for trading Luka was his conditioning, which I'm not going to act like is elite, but I am going to act like this. The most recent NBA season, who do you think played the most minutes of any player in the league? By the way, by more than 100. The answer is Luka Doncic.
Well,
the only player in the league to play 3,500 minutes.
All those.
Yes.
Are you including? Okay.
Of course. But he played more minutes than Jason Tatum. He played more minutes than Anthony Edwards, who were second and third. Yeah, of course. But are we like, oh yeah, and you saw what? That he wore down in the finals? Yeah, maybe a little. Like the last year in the finals, he was so incredibly out of shape, he only averaged 29, 9, and 6, which was down from what he did in the conference finals, which is 32, 10, and 8. So that's why I find this so ridiculous. Because it's like, oh man, guy's conditioning's brutal. Okay, so we need to make sure that he has 5% left in the gas tank. And maybe one of the reasons, because in the conference finals, in the second to last series of the year, the guy lit the Minnesota Timberwolves on fire and got him out of there in 5 games. In the semifinals, he got the Oklahoma City Thunder out of there. And in the first round, got the Clippers out of there. Then they lost to Boston, who is awesome and was a better team. And it's like, oh, he's out of shape and he's terrible defensively. The Mavs last year, once they made the trades, were a top 8 defense. So even with Luka's defensive limitations, he had a top 8 defense. And you know what? It's exhausting being double and triple teamed throughout a game. He is at worst, the 4th best player in the sport. And he's younger than all the guys ahead of him. Again, I think he's the 3rd best player in the sport. I think he's better than SGA. But if you want to say SGA has trumped him, fine. He's a few months younger than SGA. He's years younger than Giannis and Jokic. He has 5 first-team All-NBAs. 5 in a row. Here is the complete list of active NBA players with 5 first-team All-NBAs or more. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Harden, Luka. That's the list. Steph doesn't have it. Jokic doesn't have it.
Thinking.
Steph doesn't have it. Steph has 4. Luka has 5. He is coming off the best season of his life. And the Mavs, going into Christmas, were 19-10. Then he got hurt. They're 7-14 since then. They have fallen apart without him. And listen, when a trade is so bad that smart people are offering conspiracies such as the new Mavs owners are actually trying to tank the fan base so they can move the team to Vegas, as if that's a real rationale. And the reason the smart people think that could be going on is because no one would be this dumb to make this trade. You have just created a catastrophic error, the likes of which I've really, Demonte, I've never seen. I've never seen a team opt into trading their generational star at the peak of his powers because they're arguing defense. What do you mean?
It wasn't like a bunch of discussions were had. It seems like it was just between two guys, Pelinka and Harrison.
So that, listen, I think that's correct. And I said something about Nico on TV yesterday that Brew really disagreed with. Where I said, listen, I think Nico Harrison got to the Mavs. He's been a relationship guy. He was a sneaker rep at Nike. He got the job because of great relationships with superstars. Did not have a great relationship with Luka. Luka had more power in the organization. And so he moved him out. So now he's the most powerful person in the organization. And Brew said, and listen, Brew knows Nico. I don't. And Brew was like, that's basically, that's unfair.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay. The alternative is he's one of the worst evaluators of talent and team building in the history of the league. Like, I don't know what's more of an indictment. I don't know that it was like a Machiavellian power move. Okay, that's too harsh. Fine. So the alternative is he doesn't know what he's doing. You traded, and it's not only that trading Luka is really unforgivable. How many guys could you have called about and the team just hangs up the phone? I honestly think the list is 2. I think if you call about Wemby, the Spurs hang up the phone because he's so much younger. And if you call about Jokic, the Nuggets hang up the phone. I think everyone else, there is at least a meeting. If you called about Giannis, the Bucks say, let us call you back. And they discuss it. If you call about Jason Tatum, the Celtics say, don't tell anyone we're talking about this, but let us call you back. If you call about Shea, now I'm not saying they do it 1-for-1, but they at least have a meeting. And certainly, if you call, could you have gotten better than this return? I think so, because I think that I think Anthony Davis is excellent, but he's about to be 32, and if you're worried about Luka's injuries, how are you not worried about Anthony Davis's injuries? At the end of the day, you are a team that does not have your own draft pick, you being the Mavs, in 2027, 2028, 2029, or 2030. So 4 years straight, you don't have your own pick. Kyrie is turning 33 and now has all the leverage in the world this summer to opt out and demand the max. And Anthony Davis is turning 32. And your window is immediate, as opposed to having a decade of Luka. And Luka wanted to stay. Luka wanted the Supermax. This cost Luka $100 million. And You don't, and if you're doing it, and it's not because you're just doing a full reset of calling Houston and asking for Thompson and Şengün and all the picks, or Thompson and Jalen Green and all the picks, or I know other people have made this joke, but it's true. When the immediate reaction is, you must have been hacked, this trade makes no sense, you got absolutely annihilated. So let's go to some of these follow-ups, Demaze.
Well, yeah, the Supermax thing with him about to get the $100 million. Do you think that's the GM just not wanting to give him the money? You said that.
Yeah, so they would have.
It would the greatest.
So he was eligible for 5 years, $345 million, and because of his conditioning or injury risk or whatever, they were concerned about giving that to him. The reason that's idiotic is because he would have actually had more trade value if you had signed him to the Supermax. Because then the whole league you can auction him off to. The reason you couldn't technically hold a real open auction for Luka right now is he only has a year and a half left on his deal. So let's say Milwaukee was like, you know what, we will give you Giannis. But it gets out, and Luka's like, okay, do what you want, but I'm not staying in Milwaukee after a year and a half, then maybe they don't do the deal. If you have him signed to the Supermax, and he's under contract for 5 more years, you can trade him wherever you want. Like, the return on this is just truly unprecedented. When the Nets traded Kevin Durant, they got 4 first-round picks, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, and then they traded Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks. Yeah. The Mavs got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick. They didn't even get both of the Laker picks. And the flip side to that is, I have heard, for years, not so much these days, but you used to hear a lot about, man, how much did the Lakers give up for Anthony Davis? They give Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, the number 4 overall pick, and 2 more firsts. Okay? So the Lakers, and again, everyone's like, Nick, are you going to give Rob Pelinka credit here? I mean, did a great job with this one. There's no doubt about it. But I'm going to play the game that everybody plays, which is Rob Pelinka gets credit and blame. And, of course, GM, LeBron James, gets credit and blame. And so people are like, well, LeBron had no idea about the Luka trade. 100%. That is correct. But we all agree LeBron got him Anthony Davis, right? So, ultimately, the Lakers traded Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and Max Christie, and what ended up being 4 first-round picks for a championship and for Luka Doncic. That's one of the greatest trades ever. You took those guys, got Anthony Davis, got a championship, then took Anthony Davis, added 1 first-round pick, and got Luka Doncic. And here's the other piece of it, Demonte. 1960 to now, 65 years of basketball. There have been 8 seasons total when the Lakers didn't have a top 10 all-time player or a guy who could be. Jerry West, Wilt, Kareem, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, Bron, now Luka. They were gonna, for the first time ever, be kind of out in the wilderness. And the Mavs gave them Luka. All right, let's talk about Luka and LeBron together. Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you think with Luka being over there? What do the next couple of years look like for them?
Well, I think people are overestimating or overstating how bad of a fit this will be, Luka and LeBron. You seem like you have your concerns about it.
Well, no, I was talking to Daniel yesterday. I think like 3 or 4 years ago it would have been bad, but now that LeBron's like waning and he's like older, I think it works. I think a while ago it would have been bad, but
That's exactly how I feel. LeBron has given, if people watch Lakers this year, LeBron has been happy to give the car keys to Austin Reeves so he can play off ball. Like
Right.
the people saying like, oh, the Lakers took a step back. Listen, defensively, they went from bad to horrifyingly bad defensively because AD was their only great defender and he's gone now. Now, I do think they're going to make more moves for the deadline. They have to add a center. I understand that. But offensively, they're going to be elite. Luka by himself guarantees you a top 6 offense. By himself. You put Luka Doncic on the team, you have top 6 offense. Now, every single possession you're going to have all game long is either going to be orchestrated by Luka Doncic or LeBron James. Are you kidding me? LeBron's going to be able to play off ball. LeBron's 40. He's in year 22. Like, yes, historically, LeBron has not been wanted to hand the car keys to anyone. He's never in his life had a teammate better than him. Now he does. Like, I think that LeBron's going to really enjoy this.
You don't think AD was better than LeBron, like while they're playing just now?
Here's the thing. AD might have been the last 2 years better than LeBron in the aggregate. But AD was still not the guy who was dictating the offense.
Right.
AD was not better than LeBron offensively, first of all. I don't think even right now. I don't think offensively he's better. You can say he's better because he's the best defensive player in the league, sure. But on the offensive side of the ball, he wasn't better than him. And he also, LeBron still had to, because of positions, had to dictate everything. LeBron's never had a teammate that it was even close as far as, well, how are we going to get the best possession? The answer's always been, give me the ball. The only reason he's handed it over to Austin is because it's so exhausting to play that way. Like, he doesn't have the energy for it anymore. But now Luka will do it. LeBron drafts Luka in every All-Star draft. LeBron tried to sign Luka to his sneaker line that doesn't even exist. He was going to create it for Luka. Luka said LeBron is my basketball idol. Now they're on a team together. So I think that's going to be awesome. I really actually think it's going to be awesome offensively. And if they can make a move for a center, here's what I know. Luka owns the Thunder. And if LeBron, because of Luka, can get to the playoffs with more energy, man, that team's going to be a bitch to play. You better be able to match buckets. Go ahead. I see.
Yeah. So you said that. Yeah. So you're saying that the Lakers, they obviously got the better end of the bargain here with the whole Dallas trade, but this year you couldn't see Dallas being better than the Lakers.
So, not only could I not see Dallas being better,
with all the pieces they have now.
So a lot of people think that. I think that's insane. And that's not about the Lakers as much as it is about Dallas, which actually will just take me to takes on takes. So the people ask me the most ridiculous reactions to the Luka trade I saw. There is a number of folks in the media who, for the last couple years, have been as hard on Anthony Davis as anybody could imagine. And the moment he's not on the Lakers anymore, now he's awesome again. Now the Mavs could be I saw it take the Mavs could be the 1 seed. That the Mavs are I would be very surprised if the Mavs won a playoff round. They built a team. Now they are going to be great defensively. I will give them credit for that. They will be great defensively. They have one guy on their roster. One guy that can create his own shot. It's Kyrie Irving. They built a whole team of guys that are catch and shoot specialists or defensive guys because they didn't have to worry about offense because they had Luka Doncic. Now you don't have Luka Doncic. You have two guys who have only ever been a part of winning basketball if they have had one of the single greatest offensive creators in the history of basketball alongside him. And Anthony Davis and Luka and Kyrie Irving with LeBron or with Luka. Those guys are gone now. So, like, what does Kyrie Irving look like on a team full of great defenders, but he is the only initiator of offense? Go ask the Celtics. And Kyrie's been awesome with the Mavs. But since Luka's been out, they're 7-14. Like, and AD, I love AD. I think AD's an underrated player. But AD is very hit and miss offensively. You got to get buckets somehow. I just think the Mavs are going to be an awesome defensive team that's going to get whacked in round one. And people arguing the Mavs could be the one seed. The Mavs could win the title. Maybe I'll be wrong. I do not see that. I saw, Barkley was big on the Mavs' chances now. I think Stephen A. said Dallas could be the one seed. I think they're 14 games out of first and the 9 seed. I mean, honest question. Let me look this up real quick. If Dallas went undefeated the rest of the way, would that guarantee them the 1 seed? Dallas right now has 24 losses, okay? So if they went undefeated, by the way, Anthony Davis is currently injured, they would be 58-24. Do we think Oklahoma City's not getting to 60 wins? I think Oklahoma City's getting to 60 wins. So I'll go ahead and say they're not going to be the 1 seed. I think that I think that if they won 32 in a row, they wouldn't be the 1 seed. And you know what? Maybe I'm a little too down on them. I don't think they're going to win 32 in a row. Here's what I think is more likely. The Dallas Mavericks are in the play-in this year. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, right now they're the 8. I know I was saying the 9.
Traded away all their offense just to get a little bit better on defense. And AD obviously isn't just a little bit better, but
no, they got way better on defense. I mean, this is the part that I don't understand about the Lakers skepticism and the Dallas optimism is this. There's only 2 ways in this league to compete for a championship. One way is what the Celtics did last year, what the Thunder are trying to do, what the Knicks are trying to do, what the Cavs are trying to do, which is have a great player, MVP candidate-ish guy, and an amazing supporting cast. Thunder with Shea, Celtics with Tatum, Cavs with Donovan, Knicks with Jalen, right? That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to have one of the greatest players in the history of the league. That's what the Nuggets, Bucks, and Mavs had been trying to do. The Mavs now are in neither category. The Mavs now have a nice team. But they don't have a great team, and they don't have a transcendent player. The Lakers were trying to do it have one of the greatest players in the history of the sport way. The problem was their guy who fit that category, LeBron James, is no longer in that phase of his career. So they had a hard ceiling. They would run into the team that has one of the greatest players in the history of the game at the apex of his powers, and they would lose. The Mavs were trying to do it. Luka, take care of it, please. And they made a conference finals, had a down year, made an NBA finals. And they opted out of it. So they can be one of the many teams that has 2 All-Stars. 2 All-Star caliber guys. Man, that don't do nothing for you if you're trying to win championship. It just doesn't. You better have, if the top of your roster is if the best player on your team is the 11th best player in the sport or the 9th best player in the sport, the second best player better be the 21st best player, and the third better be the 28th, and the fourth better be the 42nd, and the fifth better be the 54th. You've got to just be stacking awesome guys. It's what the Celtics did. It's what the Thunder are trying to do. The Mavs, I still just can't believe it. Luka's going to be one of the greatest players ever. He's 32 a game in the playoffs. He's one of... Luka in NBA history is second all-time to Michael Jordan in playoff scoring and is, I think, third all-time in regular season scoring. And he gives you 9 rebounds, 9 assists. And again, this whole, we're worried about his conditioning, durability. Man, last year... dude played 90 games, 38 minutes a game. I get it. And that's the other reason this is great for Luka, DeMonte, is he now gets to learn at the feet of LeBron on how to take care of his body. Switch out Bud Light for red wine. Switch out hookah for some fine cigars. Hire a chef. Work out. Get in a little bit better shape. And here's the real cruel thing, DeMonte, for the Mavs. Let's say they were right. That Luka was drinking too much, eating too much, wasn't being a professional. That they were going to give him this money and he was going to be injured and out of shape and moody. Let's say all of it was correct. They're now going to be wrong. Because now he's pissed and motivated. Like, maybe you would have been right, but now you're going to be wrong. Like, so there's no way to prove yourself right. Because now you're going to have... dirty. Can you imagine what Luka's going to do to the Mavs the first time they play?
What if the Mavs were to meet the Lakers in the finals?
Or in the Western Conference Finals? I think the best hope we have for them meeting in the playoffs is round 1, and I don't think that's... We would need... I don't know how that could realistically happen. Like, could the Lakers move up to the 3 line and the Mavs move up to the 6? Maybe could... I just don't... maybe everyone else is right and I'm wrong about the Mavs. They're about to just light the world on fire. They move all the way up to the 4 and the Lakers stay at the 5. God, I would love to see that. I would love to see it. People forget quickly forgot who Luka was. And I shouldn't say people because I think just the Mavs did.